I'm getting a corset style piercing on my back with using microdermals. Yeah, I've always been intrigued with the way the ribbon's laced up, and I think that because it's in a place obviously that not everyone can see, it's something that's special for myself. I've got 23 piercings altogether. You can't see them all. It was the thing that you're 12 and 13 years old. You think it's cool because you're into rock music and all the cool rock guys in bands have it. But after that, it's just something that's always grown on me. I quite like getting pierced. I like the sensation of it, weirdly enough. But mostly I've just always thought it was a good enhancement. I never really got anything until I moved out from my parents' home because it's not something they approved of, which is something I can understand.
I enjoy body modification because you have a different interaction with the people that you're working with, and it's very much a two-way process. It's helping people equalise their inner image of themselves with how the world sees them. Rather than doing surface piercings, we're going to use microdermal anchors to provide a more long-term aesthetic.
A microdermal anchor is a type of a transdermal implant where it has a base plate that sits under the skin, and it has a section that sticks through the skin, and then it has attachable tops that thread in to the post that sticks from under the skin.
I'm studying law. As you can imagine, law is quite a straight edge subject to be studying when you're covered in tattoos and piercings. It's not the most widely accepted thing among society. It will affect it in the long term, just because most of the firms that I want to go into, the way you look is a very big thing. You have to look very smart, clean, and just average, I guess. And I'm more than happy to take my piercings out when it comes to that, because my career will always win over the way I want to look. I have only ever seen one corset that was really badly done, so that sort of put me off and made me wait to find the right person. And obviously Lee coming up with the idea to do it with dermal anchors is amazing, because it's something that I am spending my money on. It's something that's going to last a lot longer as opposed to a regular corset that just gets taken out, and we can just keep rearranging the pattern.
We're doing a design which is called Metatron's cube, which is, I believe, a mathematical construct. The details all in the threading work.
I think I sat through it okay. Lee went through it really quick for a dermal artist. He's awesome, man. He's like a really cool piercer. He makes you feel comfortable. He checks that you're okay, which is always really reassuring. It'll be fun to change the colours as well. It's just a little bit of a change, something to look forward to, I guess. The rainbow ribbon, the lace, I'm thinking like some classic black and blue or whatever colour I've dyed my hair at the time, we'll see. When I am a solicitor, barrister, lawyer, whatever, I am going to have to take everything out. So this is something nice that I get to keep to remind me, you know, of a period of my life that I went through, and also just because it looks really cool.
I think body modifications today are seen as tattoos were perhaps 20, 25 years ago. The tattoo that I'm getting the dermals in today does kind of represent my wife and I. It's a conjoined skeleton.
So where are we putting them?
In the eyes there, mate.
Excellent. How we'll start is, we'll mark it up as I say. Basically we're going to use a dermal punch, and we're going to core out pieces of skin in the middle of these eyes, and then we'll drop the dermal anchors in, and we'll have some nice gems sitting right on top.
My new dermal anchors are going to be a surprise for my wife. She doesn't know that I'm having this done, so I'm quite keen to see how she feels about it. Aaron thinks I'm unusual in the fact that I don't use numbing cream when I get piercings done. I don't think that I'm unusual.
I've got a bit of an insight of why people get body modification, tattoos, scarification, etc. The way I see it, the human body naturally craves attention, and that's the way I see it. That's why when people say tattoos are addictive, that's why I think it is, because people want more attention.
It does bug me slightly that everywhere you go, you see people tatted up, and potentially you can see people with the same tattoo as you, or heaven forbid, somebody from a terrible reality TV show with the same tattoo as you. I think if that actually happened, I would probably go and get my arm cut off. When I get piercings, for me, as I've said, the whole process is something that I enjoy. The pain the adrenaline rush, little adrenaline rush you get from it, and the idea that I am doing something completely different, inserting something into your body to modify yourself.
If you look after them, they'll settle in nicely, but if you do have any problems or you're ill in the next few weeks or anything, your body's going to try and reject them, and then we've got to do what we can do to keep them in there.
It has definitely set this tattoo apart from the rest now. You see a few people with it, but not too many people, and I feel it has kind of lifted the tattoo, made it stand out a little bit more, and all in all I'm really happy with how it looks. The hardest thing will be stopping my youngest, my little man, trying to pull them out, I expect.
I've been wanting to have my tongue split for the last 3 years. Been really fascinated with it. And I also like to look different. So yeah, getting a lot of mods and piercings is sort of my thing. I've got 55 piercings and most of them are in my face. I would definitely feel quite uncomfortable without any of my piercings. Pretty much would be feeling like I was naked.
Good.
Not too bad. I don't think I could imagine myself without them.
I'm a master piercer and body mod specialist. I'm known worldwide as Dr. Evil. Right, so main things to do is just try and relax as best as possible. You're not in any danger. The cut itself is only a couple of seconds for the actual split, so it's nice and quick. We'll make sure that you're absolutely fine, go through it nicely and give it probably about half an hour or so and you'll be the proud owner of a tongue split.
I'm getting my tongue split today because it's something I've always been building up to, just something added on to what I've already got. Don't feel that nervous, to be honest. More excited, really, than anything.
The basics of a tongue split are we clamp the sides of the tongue. It helps to reduce some of the bleeding, and then it's a scalpel. Cut the tongue in half, straight down the centre. There's always risks, again, with any procedure because I am cutting the tongue open. It's the only muscle that we work on. So there are always going to be potential risks. One of the main things is obviously just the bleeding.
With the tongue splitting, I've thought about it a lot more than with my piercings. I wouldn't say much more of an impulse thing, but I have thought about them as well, but just not as long as the tongue splitting. Just find the right person to actually do it was more than anything, I think.
Yeah, I was working at a show. I was doing some scarification, so I put a curtain up and my friend, he kept calling me. So I had my gown on, mask, gloves, scalpel in hand. Came out elbow first and he was like, wow, Dr. Evil. And it just stuck from that. Wayne will have a little bit of discomfort over the next few days, and because the tongue's a muscle, talking and eating will be quite slurred. With the talking, the eating will be a little bit uncomfortable.
I do get quite a lot of strange reactions from a lot of different people. I haven't thought about having any more modifications done as of yet. This is like my first one, so I see piercings modifications for me is for me to be, more individual.
I'm having facial branding just above my eye, like the tribes used to mark the warriors. It's sort of like an animal scratch, where it reminds me we're all still an animal, and it's taking you back to your basic instincts. It was originally going to be a bear claw right across the face, but I decided to have a bit of a compromise. I've been wanting something different for a long time, and this is my first step to looking different.
This is something that obviously everybody is going to see when this person is walking down the street. It's just making sure this person knows exactly what they're asking for.
I've been planning this for quite a few months now. I talked to Nick about it a while ago, and it's just suddenly decided, that's it, time to get it done.
I won't do it on the day.
I spent most of my life in the building trade, doing various other things. I've learned how to lay bricks, blocks, I can render, plaster, painter, decorator, basic carpentry. I used to work in a factory and you weren't allowed to wear any kind of earrings. The later jobs, they stopped me from getting the mods I wanted in the direction I wanted to go. It's just the initial, you can feel the heat from the branding tool coming towards you, and that's what gets you because it makes you want to push away.
The gentleman wants a scar-like effect, so we are going to basically do different lengths. One might be slightly deeper than the other, one might have a slight angle to it. For this branding, I won't be using a stencil. I will literally draw it on freehand. I'm going to have to find out what animal it is, depending on how long the scar lines would be. When it comes to branding, everyone asks how deep you go. It depends whether you're doing thin skin or thick skin. It's all done by eye and feel.
I'm just getting in now to becoming an artist and wood sculptor. It's hard to be me because of today's society. For each thing I accomplish now, I can go and have something done, say, yeah, that's what that means. I had a bit of a rough time a while ago, and it was from then it prompted me to, I've always found drawing as an escape. And so I sat down and I was drawing, and it helped me, and I'm thinking, well, if this is making me feel good, I've got to continue it and try and make a career out of it. So I'm definitely becoming my own piece of artwork.
When dealing with the face, there's a lot of things you've got to take into consideration. You have got your eyeball there. You need to be very, very careful.
I think I will continue and come across the face a bit more at some point in the future. I've got some big plans of things I want to do, and it's going to shock a lot of people. I suppose I'm my tribe of one.